everybody. So I thought I'd film a favourites video. Yeah, I'm in a slightly different place today in my room because I have a window over there which I usually film in front of, but I can only do that when there's natural light, and it's going towards the end of the summer, and to be honest, I kind of knew that, I can't sit in front of that window filming all the time because it's not always, there isn't always natural light. So I tried something slightly new today, and this is, when I tried to film videos before, I tried to do it here, but I find that I have a lamp right behind my laptop, and sometimes depending on where I put my laptop, it can make everything look a bit fuzzy, and it can make footage look a bit grey. So hopefully everything works out, and I'll try this. I might not end up putting it up, but I figured I may as well do it because it just makes it so much easier. It means I can film videos in the evening and I don't have to do it in kind of a rigid time slot. So yeah, I'll get started. The first thing I've been really enjoying is something I've had for ages, and I'm wearing it today. I'm wearing a lot of the stuff I've been enjoying today, but the first thing is this lacura Beauty pen, concealer pen, and basically it is the LD version of YSL Touche Éclat and all those kind of illuminating pens, and it just, it's got a brush thing. This is actually really good quality. I heard someone talk about this ages and ages and ages ago. I think maybe about 3 years ago I heard someone talking about it, someone who used to use YSL Touche Éclat who converted to this, and actually, even the packaging, it's metal, it's quite weighty, it gives a nice satisfying click when you close the cap. It by no means feels like it's cheap, and even like the label looks quite nice. So it's very nice. It's just basically kind of like a pinky toned concealer or brightener. I've used this today on its own, but I've actually layered this under the Lasting Perfection concealer by Collection 2000, which I really, really, really like. And that, it just gives A, bit of extra coverage if I'm wearing it for the evening, and B, it just kind of brightens up the under eye area. And it's great as well. I've worn this on its own once before. The only time I actually wore it out of the house, when I wasn't just testing it and playing around with it, aside from this week when I've been using it, was one day when I was very, very, very tired and I hadn't been sleeping because I had been doing essays and I had deadlines and stuff like that in college, and I'd been working really hard. I didn't get any sleep, and I didn't put on any makeup except for I put on a bit of eye cream and a bit of moisturizer, and I just put this on under my eyes, and it just kind of really brightened my face up. And that's the thing, it's not seriously heavy coverage, but it counteracts dark circles and stuff like that because of the colour. So it's not even that it's heavy, so it just kind of keeps everything looking bright and fresh, because I find sometimes I don't want a heavy under eye concealer, but I do want that area to just look bright. I find that without any sort of concealer under my eyes, if I'm wearing makeup, I can often look a bit tired. I think that's a common complaint. I think a lot of people have that. The next thing I've been really enjoying, again, these are just fairly recent favourites. They're kind of weekly favourites. I've been watching Don't Call Me Jess. I can't remember. I think it's like, oh, it's actually, I was watching her. So I've got the Firefox window open behind behind the camera, and it's Jamo Jerica, but she has a blog called Don't Call Me Jess, I think. And I heard about her through Rachel from Makeup Never Sleeps. Rachel said something really funny. She had a unique expression she used. They're just genuine people, really interesting, fabulous recommendations, and I love finding people like that to watch on YouTube. Just kind of genuine people, genuine gypsy. The next thing I've been really enjoying is the Makeup Forever Face and Body, and I'm in the shade 38. This is actually my second bottle, and I think they've slightly changed the formula, and that is in part why I found this new way of using it. And I'll show you how I've been using it in a minute. But basically, it's sort of like a jelly foundation. If you can hear that squidgy noise, it's like Jello. But the first bottle I got about 3 years ago, and it was like Jello. It felt like Jello. It sounded like Jello. It was very jelly-like. This is kind of like Jello you've left out in the sun for a couple of hours, and it's sort of melted. So it's not as jelly-like and I found that I had a problem with this pump, and I'm not sure if it's the pump or if it's the consistency or the consistency on the pump, and it just, you know, it just didn't work out and they didn't do it the right way, but it flies out of the pump when you go to use it, and I like applying this with my fingers. So what I've decided to do, this is the brush that's just, I bought this and I didn't really understand why people liked this brush so much, and I actually got it initially to contour. But this is the, I never remember the name of it, and I always want to call it the buffing brush, but it isn't. It's the Expert Face brush, and it's one of the Real Techniques brushes. It's basically like a very dense brush. It's not one of the flat top ones, but it's just very, very dense, and it's very good at blending foundation and anything into your skin, whether it's powder, liquid, cream, and just making it look seamless. So I've been using this with this because you can squirt a whole pump onto this and you can just blend it into the skin, and there's so much of this. This is a big 50ml bottle, which I'd never get through anyway. And a concern that I always have when I use this for foundation is that it's just going to eat it up, because it goes, there are so many more bristles, and like the product goes all the way down like it does with any brush. But I find that traditional flat top foundation brushes, like the is one of my favourite ones to use. I have two of these, the Louise Young LYO2 brush. This doesn't eat as much foundation, I find. Let's put that back. Sorry. But yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I don't have to worry about how much of this I'm using, because the last bottle I had of this went off and separated because I didn't use enough of it. I didn't use it up. So it's really handy. It just blends into the skin. And I had been really enjoying this foundation, which is the Clinique CC cream. But I found that, I don't know, I'd been liking it, but it's slightly more coverage than I'm used to wearing in the summer. It's kind of like medium coverage foundation, and I really like it. I love the way it makes my skin look, and since I've started filming videos, I've worn this in a good few of the videos that I filmed. I haven't put all of them up, but it just makes your skin look really nice and bright, and it's perfect, and it kind of, I don't know, it's great. I ramble on about that in another video. But this one is just slightly lighter, and it just gives you this really kind of almost transparent film over the skin, and it just makes your skin look really smooth and perfected and radiant, but it doesn't look heavy. And I think that's the thing I like about it. That's why I've been liking these so much, because I do really like a lighter coverage foundation in the summer. I don't like heavy, cloggy foundations, and I like being able to show my skin off, because I feel like my skin looks much better in the summer. It doesn't, I get very bad redness in my skin, especially when I'm cold in the winter, and I'm always cold, and so it's just nice to be able to do that. So I've been really enjoying that. Another thing I've been liking is this blush by MAC called Blazing Haute. Stupid name. And I'm wearing this today, and it is, you can't tell, but I would check out swatches of this, particularly from Temptalia. I think she was the one who really sold me on this, and it's basically a really pale, very buildable orange peach colour, and it's sort of like the most orange, because I love orange. Yeah, so it's just, it looks like, that's the problem with sitting over here, you really can't see colours at all. I'll try and do it back here. I'll do it back here, because I think you can kind of see. Yeah, so you can tell that it's an orange, basically. It's an orange, and it goes on slightly more peachy, as most orangey blushes do. You know, it doesn't just look like that, but it's just a very nice blush. I don't know if you can get this anymore, maybe if you could find it cheap on eBay, or you saw it on a blog sale, or even if you have CCOs. We don't have CCOs in Ireland. We have a great outlet called Kildare Village, which is, I believe, owned by the same people who own the ones over in England, and a lot of them in continental Europe. And they, you know, just decided we didn't need a CCO, which is great. One of the perks of living in a small country. Anyway, that's really nice. It's really nice because it's very buildable, and I tend to be very heavy-handed with blush. And again, I mean, it just feeds into the whole kind of, I'm on a lighter makeup binge because it's the summer and stuff, so I've been really enjoying that. Another thing that I've been liking is actually from the Naked 2 palette, and this is a palette that I bought whenever it came out. I got it almost immediately after it came out, or maybe a couple of weeks. I think I sat on it for a little while because I wasn't super excited about it, but at that stage I'd really gotten into using the first Naked palette, which, this is turning into a complete ramble, but I'd just gotten into using the first Naked palette, and I bought that one first, and I didn't I didn't use it for about 6 months, and then I really got into it and I loved it. It was kind of one of the only things I used. But I don't know, around the time when I bought this, I was really into using my naked palette, but then it just kind of tapered off, and I never ever, I think I've worn this, I've used it probably about 3 times, so I don't ever use this. It just sits there. I don't know, and it has so many nice colors in it, but I think I'm not a massive fan of the formulation of. I know that these ones are the new formulation of eyeshadows from Urban Decay, but I'm just not mad on the way they formulate their eyeshadows. I find that they're too soft and they're too buttery, and they just kind of, if you use a shimmery buttery shade all over the lid and a shimmery buttery shade in the crease, I find that even if I use a primer, they just migrate and they blend into one another. And I just don't really like the effects. So, and I find that a lot of their colours just aren't that interesting. They're not as interesting and nuanced as a lot of the MAC and NARS shades that I favour. So anyway, ramble over. One of the shades that I actually did really like from the beginning and I loved the look of was Chopper. And it's just, I mean, if you look up swatches, it's kind of almost like a more subdued, less orange, peachy orange version of, oh no, it probably is more orange. It's less obnoxious. It's not as obnoxious as Mythology can be, because Mythology can be very loud. This isn't as loud, but it's a really nice rose gold colour. It's a really nice orangey copper rose gold colour. So if you're looking for a nice orangey coppery rose gold colour, look no further, because Chopper from Urban Decay might be just what you're looking for. And I'm wearing it all over my lid today. And I blended it out with another colour from this palette, which is Foxy, which is sort of like, it's just like a creamy yellow matte flesh colour. Well, no one's that colour. That's yellow. I mean, it's yellow. But it's really nice, and I really like that blended out. I like using, a lot of people use like light browns and stuff to blend out their eyeshadow, but I'm so pale that I have to watch it with that sometimes. The next thing I've been enjoying, these are things I've been wearing together. Like I've been wearing Chopper and the MAC blush together. I've been wearing these two together, and the eyeshadow in question is NARS Undine. I love the little NARS, mini NARS packaging. I remember the first time I saw one of these, I got a little bit cooey because it was just so cute. It's a mini. Hello baby NARS. You got a little big NARS. Anyway, so yeah, it's just sort of like, I've worn this in videos that I've definitely put up on YouTube. Some of the first ones that I put up, I was wearing this, and it's just like a purpley kind of, a warm purpley taupe, if that even makes sense. Again, redundant showing you this, but just, I mean, I take a look at swatches online. It's just sort of, it's like that. And I've been really enjoying wearing this over Urban Decay Primer Potion and Sin, because a lot of these NARS eyeshadows, although they're beautiful, they're very satiny. Like, it actually looks like there's a lot of shimmer in this, and if you look at it up close, you can even see it almost looks like it has a little bit of glitter in it. But that definitely doesn't show up. It just has like a very subtle glow to it, or kind of sheen, a satiny sheen. And that's swatched on the hand. When you actually put this on your eye, it doesn't really come across as shimmery at all. And sometimes I do like, a lot of the time I like a little bit of shimmer, at least a glow to my eyeshadow. So putting Urban Decay Primer Potion underneath it just gives it that, je ne sais quoi, that glow. But I think this is also, if you don't really like shimmery shades, or if you favour that sort of more subdued, not quite matte, but definitely not metallic or shimmery, like nothing like, Urban Decay Naked Palette type of stuff. If you're not into that at all, this might be one for you, because I have a lot of NARS single eyeshadows, and a lot of them are like that. Cairo is another really nice one as well. And the taupey colour from the Kalahari Duo is another one. So yeah, that's just, I mean, it's nice because you can wear them two ways, and Urban Decay Primer Potion and Sin, it's great for putting under neutral shades and giving them an extra dimension. I think that's the magic of shimmery bases, pretty much. And then the next thing, well, the last thing actually, is this NARS blush, and it's in the colour Sex Appeal. And I've hit pan on it. I used the crap out of this last summer. Very, very, very buildable. It's like the MAC shade. I mean, they're different. They're completely different. But you can see that they're both very, very, very buildable. And they're great if you tend to be heavy-handed, and they're great if you're pale, because although I love, you know, more pigmented, darker colours, getting ready or whatever, just in general, and I'm rushing, I can be extra heavy-handed. They're basically, these are foolproof. They're not even user-friendly, they're foolproof. And it looks like a pastel peachy pink colour, and it looks like it wouldn't show up, because that's kind of almost like the same, around the same intensity as my colour of my skin, even on the screen. But it just comes off as like, it's much more peachy. It goes on much more peachy, and kind of almost like a slightly neutral tone. It's got a slightly neutral kind of vibe to it as well. It doesn't look very pastel-y on the cheeks, and it's just really, really, really nice. And it's one of those things that just goes with everything. And again, I love wearing it in the summer because it shows up, because I like my blush. If you know me, I like my blush, and I prefer to have slightly too much blush than slightly too little blush on. But it doesn't look insipid, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. You can build it up. You can definitely build it up. But yeah, that's my favourites video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you soon with more videos. Bye!